If you are in HR, you need to have an effective tool to measure and present the performance indicators that reflect the state of HR in your company. This is key for the HR leadership as well as the company leadership to understand the current state of HR and also measure the progress against the company's targets. In addition, you can also identify areas of opportunities that need more attention. With our HR KPI scorecard and dashboard Excel template, you can have an effective and elegant scorecard and a dashboard completely customized for your organization within a few minutes. You download the template, enter your own company's data, and instantly have scorecard and the dashboard ready to present to your leadership. In this video, I am going to go over the key features of this Excel template, which you can get from Inzara.com. And I will also be doing a live demo of how the template works. If you have any questions about this template, please post your questions in the comment section below, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. The purpose of the template is to have a solution to create such HR KPI scorecards very quickly and effectively. You can now take effective and informed business decisions in a timely manner, and you will save weeks of development effort that would take to create such a KPI scorecard. You can also immediately impress your company's leadership with such an elegant and effective scorecard, which will be ready within minutes after you download. The template uses a very simple framework. You define your KPIs, you enter your actuals and the targets data, and the scorecard and the dashboard are ready for you to print or present to your leadership. These are some of the key features of this template that addresses the key needs in this space. I've categorized them into 4 major buckets. So the first is it's immediately useful. So you will be able to download a template and immediately get an automated HR KPI scorecard and a dashboard, which you can present. We also have a sample file which we will provide, which has 30 common HR KPIs, which will help you to get started with some KPIs that you could review and use for your organization. Practical functionality. I've spent a lot of years doing reporting and analysis and data visualization in large companies. And based on my experience, I've seen different varieties of dashboards and KPIs which involve different types of calculations. So based on that experience, I've made this template to accommodate as many such scenarios as possible. So for example, you can create a monthly dashboard. You can also create a year-to-date dashboard immediately, or you can toggle between them as your company's needs are. There are 4 different types of aggregation calculations that can be done. Some KPIs need to be added across all the months. Some KPIs need to be averaged. Some of them are weighted average. Some of them are just snapshots. So you can do all of those things at a KPI level. You can do a comparison with the previous month. You can also compare with the previous year. You can also compare as a change, the absolute change in value, or you can do a percentage change. When you are setting targets and comparing against targets, you can actually measure the difference or the variance. You can also measure percentage achieved of the target. KPIs come in different varieties, even in format, currency, whole numbers, decimals, percentages, and even within percentages, you may have a percentage where you need to show 1 decimal, where you don't need to show any decimals. You can completely control all of this to meet the needs of your organization. Some KPIs, you want them to go lower in order for the company to benefit. Some KPIs need to go higher. Both types of KPI are supported in this template. The third important feature is they are highly customizable. So you can change the order in which the KPIs appear in the dashboard easily. You can turn on and off the comparison with the previous period, comparison with the target. So every one of these is modular, so you can actually turn them off and on when you need it. You can also control the green, red, yellow levels for the comparison against targets by setting a tolerance percentage, which can be different for each organization, so you can now control it easily. The currency can be anything. you can just type in a new currency symbol and the template will automatically handle that for you. Fourth, last but not the least, is the action-oriented design. I strongly believe that the KPI scorecards and the dashboards are useful only if they help you in making business decisions. So the template allows you to type in commentary or comments for each month for each KPI, which will get presented along with the scorecard, which will ensure that there is a healthy conversation about the KPI results and hopefully will help take good, effective business decisions. It's very easy to just turn on the switch and say, hey, show me the KPIs, which we are not meeting the targets. So it immediately highlights them so you can actually focus on the ones that need more attention. There's also a KPI view with more details and on a monthly level, which will help you see the values of the KPI against the targets and which months have we met targets, which months have we not. So all of this has been designed keeping in mind the ultimate goal of making these dashboards and scorecards effective tools in taking good informed business decisions. Now, having said that, let's just go and take a look at the template in a live demo and see how all of this works in the template. I have the template open here, and this is a template which is available for download. This is a sample file with already some sample data entered. So to illustrate how the template works, but also once you download this, you can either edit this a little bit to make it your own, because we have 30 HR KPIs which have already been entered in this template. So we begin with the setting sheet where you can choose when you want to start tracking these KPIs. So the template can handle up to 24 months or 2 years worth of tracking at a time. And then once you reach that, you can make a copy of the file and start for the new year or the next 2 years easily. You can enter up to 8 different categories of KPIs, and we have provided the default here. You can type in your own KPI category names or edit them, or if you need only a few, you can remove some if you don't need. So fully customizable. We'll come back to the settings of the dashboard and the scorecard later. Let's take a look at the KPI sheet. Here is where, as I said, I've entered about 30 HR KPIs. I've categorized them. And you can see that I've given a different format option to each of these KPIs. So you can control the formatting at a KPI level. You can say whether a KPI needs to be, higher for it to be better or lower. So this will help the template determine whether it should be giving a green or a red, green indicating it's better, and then red indicating that it's not going well. So you need to make sure that the template can understand whether a specific KPI needs to be higher or lower. You can enter a suffix for a KPI. You can enter a brief definition. You can also control how you want to aggregate when we do year-to-date type of calculations. Do you want to add average, weighted average, latest snapshot? And then the comparison calculation, you can choose whether you want to display the change or the change percent. Similarly, the target, do you want to just display the variance with the target versus actual, or do you want to measure percentage achieved of the target? And if you don't want the targets to be, even displayed or compared with, then very easy, just click on the cell and remove the value, then you are not doing any target comparison at all. So that's how easy it is for you to control. When we do weighted average, you can also say, where do I get the weights from? And a common example would be when I'm calculating the recruiting cost per hire. So the recruiting cost per hire depends on how many people you hired. So in order for proper year-to-date calculation, you want to inform the template that the recruiting cost, we need to do a weighted average, not just a straight average. And the weights are based on the number of employees we hired. And now this template has enough information to go and accurately calculate the weighted average when we do year-to-date calculation, which I will show you in the dashboard very shortly. So this is very simple input. So you do this one time, you set up your KPIs, and you can enter up to 100 KPIs in the sheet. And that's it. You are ready to go. You can use the sample file and maybe rename this. You don't want to call it time to onboard. You may want to call it something different. onboarding time or onboarding duration, whatever it is, you are completely flexible to edit and rename or remove some of these KPIs that you may not need. Now let's go to actuals. Actuals sheet, as the name indicates, we just enter all these values, nothing else. We just type in the actual data. So instead of 5247, the recruiting cost was 6,000. I type in 6,000. So that's how you will just enter the values. You can copy and paste from another spreadsheet, but when you copy and paste, make sure that you do paste special. So let me do paste special as values. You want to make sure that you always do as values whenever you're pasting from another spreadsheet. So you enter the data here for actuals, and then you go to targets. It looks exactly the same, and we do exactly the same. We type in the information for the targets. Both for the actuals and the targets, you don't need to worry too much about the formatting of the values here. You'll see that, for example, I've done for 5%, I've entered 0.05. I'm not entering necessarily as a percentage. That's okay. The template will then figure it out, because if you remember, we had already told the template that I want, certain things to be in a percentage. So the template will handle the display part by itself. Okay, so now we have entered the target data. Then we would want to move into the scorecard. And before we go to the scorecard, there are some settings that we can control in the scorecard. So in order for me to better show that, I'm just going to do a side-by-side view here. So just give me a second while I get that set up. Okay, so now I have the same file. I have two windows or two views. So if you're not familiar with this, you can see that in the view section, there is a new window. So you can actually open a second window of the same document, so you can see side by side. So what I'm going to do now here is to control the settings here and see how the template automatically updates the scorecard in the dashboard. So if I want to do, for example, this is right now showing it's a year to date of 2021. So you'll see here that it is displaying January to June of 2021. Today is July 2nd when I'm recording this video. So that's why it will automatically use until the June data. And it's comparing against 2020 June. So that's because we are saying comparing over last year, same month last year. So if I say previous month, you will see now the template is comparing against Jan to May. So Jan to June compared versus Jan to May. This will allow you to understand how much things have changed in the month of June 2021. So if instead I don't want the year to date, I want to go back to the month option. Now I can see that the scorecard changed to May 2021 values, and it compares against April 2021 because it's the previous month. But if I do same month last year, now it'll actually say May 2020. So the template allows you to do year over year or month over month with just a click here. So you fully control what is going on. And here the specific month is May 2021. So you can also say, oh, I want to do April 2021. Now you will see April 2021 compared to April 2020. So fully controllable. And then you also can do something like latest completed month, which now the template will automatically do the month for you. You don't have to specify. It'll say, hey, June was the last completed month because today is July 2nd. So now it'll automatically select the month. So this is how the template is so flexible for you to use. So I'm going to go back to May 2021. Let's say as we made these changes, I also want to go back to the dashboard quickly to tell you that the dashboard also works the same way when you change it from month to, instead of May, if I want to say April 2021, you see that this changed. So the same thing as scorecard and the dashboard, same information is presented. The difference here is that this dashboard uses a tile or a card, KPI card style layout. And then the scorecard is a more vertical, text with comment information here, which is super helpful when you're having conversations around, what happened with the recruiting cost, how did we get the cost down. You can have a comment which explains that. And for example, the number of applications per hire. Oh, we are over the target by 4 applications per hire. and versus the last year we have gone up by 7, so it's not good, it's red. And now the comment says, oh yeah, we need some more deeper analysis, we don't have it yet. So these are critical. When you go and present these results, you can have a very meaningful, effective conversation if you have some supporting comments to go with it. So the scorecard design supports that. The dashboard has a different, layout and a different purpose. It gives you the numbers, much larger numbers, which you can display on a screen, or maybe even, it's easier, if you want to display it on big TV screens right next to your organization's work area, so people can see it and understand how the performance has been. So there are many different use cases. The design layouts are different between the two sheets. To illustrate another one, the number of months or trend to display, you see that in the sparkline and in the columns here, column chart that I've displayed here, you'll see that there are 6 months of display. If I want to show 12 months, I just type in 12, and now you see that the 12 months of history are displayed. So that is the purpose of this. Another one, this is purely designed to make it more actionable. So if I want to say, show me the KPIs that have not met targets, this makes it much easier visually to see that these are the specific ones in red, which we have not met the targets for. The tolerance level to allow, so whenever we are comparing against targets, we can say, oh, if you meet your target, it's green. If you don't, it's red. Sometimes if you're within a certain tolerance level from the target, then it may be an acceptable yellow. It may not be green, but it's yellow. So that's what you can control when you do the tolerance percentage. Currency, you can enter any symbol. You see that the template supports different formatting types. You have a dollar type formatting, you have whole numbers, you have percentages with decimals, you have numbers like 4.3 with decimals. So you have all kinds of formatting that you can use to determine or reflect your KPIs. Similarly, the currency can be changed to any currency according to your organization. So this is how you can control the dashboard and the scorecard settings. Now I want to go, before I move on, I do want to say that the scorecard and the dashboard supports 24 KPIs in one page, but there's a page number on the top right. So if I want to go to page number 2, now I can see that there are 6 more. So since I said I have 30 KPIs, so you can see that I have 6 more KPIs which are displayed in the second page. So that's the same in the scorecard as well. So you have a page number that you can type in, and then you will be able to see the next set of KPIs. Now I'm going to expand on the dashboard sheet and show you another feature here. By default, the order of these tiles is the same order that you entered in the KPI sheet. However, if you want to customize it and say, okay, I don't want anything in the top first slot, I just remove it. And then if I want to come back, or if I want to change it to another KPI, let's say total rewards. So now you see that $199 million. So that will come up to the top left, and you would have already seen that each of these is modular. If you don't want the trend line to show up here, you can go back to the settings and just say 0 months to trend. And now if I go back to the dashboard, there is no trend line. And then the same thing works in the scorecard as well. So you saw that the trend disappeared in the scorecard, fully flexible. Similarly, if you don't have any target comparisons, then it won't display here. And if you don't want to do a change comparison, you can toggle that off as well. So fully flexible. You can reorder this by typing in your own order of KPIs here. And anytime when you feel like I want to go back to the default original, just type in default. Now you're back to the original order. So that's how this works. And let me briefly tell you a little bit about the change percentage here. So you'll see the arrow and then a number. So arrow indicates whether it's going up or down. The color indicates whether it's good or bad. Green indicates good, red indicates bad. So number of applications per hire, you want this to be down, but it's increasing, so that's why it's red. Time to fill, you want this number to go down, and actually it is going down, so it's green. And an example of something that we wanted to go higher is the retention rate. So retention rate, we want it to be higher. So when it increased, we called it as green. Now from a target perspective, as I explained earlier, if you are within the tolerance level of the target, then it'll be yellow. If you have reached the target, it'll be green. If you are below the tolerance, then it'll become red of the target. So that's all of that. Flexible, but it's automated, so you don't have to worry about doing any of those developments at all. Now for the final sheet, this is the KPI view. Since the scorecard and the dashboard does not necessarily have a very elaborate detailed view, it's providing you a high level number for each KPI. And so here you can see month over month compare in one view or one visual. So now I can say, show me the recruiting cost. And now you can see the target in the gray bars, and then you have the green color wherever we met the target, red when we didn't meet the target. So again, all of this is fully automated. You can choose the KPI, you can enter from which month you want to start the chart from. And so if I don't want January to start, so now I can say February. It's very, very simple. When we do that, the bottom chart also will update, as I can show here. This is comparing 2020 versus 2021. And when you download the template, you can also use it for future years, whether it's 2022, 2023, or whenever. The point is it'll compare 2 years and for the same month. So January, did we increase? February, it went down. March, it went up. So you can see clearly whenever you're discussing the specific KPI, you can actually have the supporting data with you to make effective business decisions. So that's what the template does. You can control a lot of things in this template using the settings sheet. You enter your KPIs one time, and then every month you will enter your actuals data, and you will also enter your targets data. If in your organization you set targets for the entire year at the beginning of the year, then you will just enter your targets one time, and then you're done. Your scorecards and the dashboard are fully automated. And then the commentary is where you will enter comments for every KPI, and every month you can enter the comment if you need to. And when you do that, it will start appearing in the scorecard. If you have any suggestions or how to make this template better, please let me know in the comment section. I always look forward to getting feedback to continue to improve the product. This is the first version of this product, but this was developed based on years of experience of doing this type of work, as well as it took weeks of development effort as well to build this and make it as comprehensive as possible. So I look forward to your feedback. Thank you very much for watching. This template is available to download from inzara.com. I'll be providing all the links in the description below. Thank you very much for watching.